Hi everyone. So, welcome back to the mm, I can call it a masterclass series. I'm not sure. It could also be a podcast, if you just listen to this whole conversation. However, this is definitely a longish video, right? Maybe 30 minutes or more. And the whole point of making these videos is for you to um, understand a few concepts a little deeper, and for me to also be able to share a few examples and make you all understand the differences, the nuances in the concepts, right? Now, today I want to talk about self love versus selfishness. This is something that I've been hearing about for so long, and I also see how people misuse the two terms, right? Or they use it interchangeably, or they negate the energy of self love, and they kind of, attack the word by calling it selfish, which is kind of what the problem is here, right? And that's why I'm making this video to bring your attention to these concepts, and also for you to understand how we can actually inculcate self love in our lives and make everyone's lives better, like not just our own self, like our own lives, but also people who are around us, right? Now, let's start at the root. Okay, selfishness is about taking at the cost of others. Okay, and self love is about not abandoning yourself. Okay, most people are not selfish, right? They are conditioned to self abandon, right? Now, where is this self abandonment coming from, and how does it get normalized for most folks? Okay, let's start there. Now, from a very early age, okay, many folks learn that you need to be good, right? Be good. You need to adjust, right? You're told not to be too difficult, okay? And you're asked to not disappoint, right? And so what happens is love becomes conditional for you, okay? Love becomes conditional. Now, there is a age, and I talk about it again and again because I feel like a lot of our emotions, a lot of the way of our living or being comes from there. There is an age till which, a child gets unconditional or should be getting unconditional love from their mother, right? From their caretaker. And then there is a separation that happens when the child is now asked to perform, right? To maybe do well at school, to maybe do well at sports, right? And they're compared to other folks now. So now, in order for this child to get mother's love, they need to perform, they need to do something, they need to, be a good girl, they need to get good marks, they need to excel in studies, whatever, right? Or uh, so when they see this happening, they start thinking that now my love is conditional, right? So, what does the nervous system learn? The nervous system learns that I am safe when I suppress myself. Now, what about a child who doesn't want to play a sport and who doesn't want to win, right? And they just want to be loved for who they are. That's not even in under consideration, right? They must do something, like they must earn your love, right? They must maybe do well at sports or something, right? There is this something that gets attached. So what do you learn? That I'm safe when I suppress my feelings, because if I tell them what I feel, I won't be loved, and being loved is essential, right? So this is not a belief. This is actually a survival strategy that started in your body. Okay, for some it could be age 5, for some it could be age 10, right? So what happens when this happens before the age of 10, these conditions are put in later on in life, in your adult life, right? When someone disrespects you, right? Your body is tired, your heart is done, your intuition says no, right? And you don't respond with clarity. How do you respond now? You respond, your response is a trauma response. So it could be a fight, freeze, fawn, or collapse, right? So that's where you begin to stay, you begin to tolerate, you begin to over explain, you begin to overgive. And this is not happening because you want to, it's happening because your body now associates self expression with danger. You see? Because I can't do what I want to do. Because if I do what I want to do, then that'll lead to me abandoning love or love leaving my body, right? My life. So then what happens is your boundaries feel like guilt, right? So when you start setting boundaries, the guilt, that guilt that you get is not moral, it's actually biological. Because your nervous system interprets boundaries as if I say no, I may lose safety, I may lose connection, I may lose approval, right? So that guilt appears to pull you back into the familiar. And this is why people say, I know I need boundaries, but I just can't do it, right? You are strong and I am not, right? Or I can't manage this. I can't do it. It's actually not resistance, it's your old survival wiring. So boundaries are actually not arrogance, right? They are the nervous system learning a new language of safety, right? And that is why we need to relearn a lot of these things, because a lot of us are living in this survival mode in our bodies, literally, right? And that's why when you listen to all of this, you understand that maybe you are living in that, maybe your responses are trauma responses, right? And now you can start to rewire your brain, right? Now, if you do not rewire your brain, right, and if you do not work on your nervous system, what will happen is that with these responses, you will continue to ignore your true wish or want or yourself, right? And when you continuously ignore your needs, then the body goes into survival. The body stops feeling supported by you, right? So the body is constantly preparing for threats, right? And so that is when now overthinking starts, right? Mental noise increases, hypervigilance starts, right? The body begins imagining worst case scenarios. Again, not because you're negative, but because no one is protecting it, right? You're not standing up for yourself, and the body tries to protect you through anxiety. Now, again, let's just back up. So, growing up, your caretaker, your mother, they put some conditions, right? Now you feel like you cannot express yourself. Instead, you need to perform, you need to uh, do certain things according to what they want, right? To get their accolades, to get their love. And now you feel like you need to keep suppressing your needs. Only then you will get love. So you grow up, now you have no boundaries. You feel super guilty, which is not moral. Like I said, it's biological, because you feel like if I get boundaries, you will literally like die. The body feels that way. Okay. So you start to ignore yourself. Okay. And ignoring, what happens is now there is another new wiring in the body that feels like you will never listen to yourself, or you will never stand up for yourself. So now the body needs to be So it's going a step ahead and becoming so vigilant, hyper vigilant, that it feels like, since you anyways do not listen to yourself, the body needs extra care to protect itself, otherwise the body will die. So now the body is trying to protect the body itself. The nervous system is doing that through anxiety. And when there is anxiety, right, then the body is mostly shutting down for conservation. The body is no longer open to new ideas, creativity, manifestation, nothing. You know why? Because the body is constantly preparing for threats. That's what's happening, right? So, so you see how, if we don't step in, right, at the right time, we can continue on this survival mode. The body is focused on survival, which means your creative ideas, your opening up, the body is opening up for abundance to come in, it's all shut down. Yeah. So now what happens? Because when does it open up? When you're in a calm state of mind. But you're not in a calm state of mind because you're in a survival mode, right? Abundance and prosperity, they require safety. They require your presence. They require your trust. They require spaciousness in the body, which currently are all missing in the nervous system. Yeah. So when boundaries are absent, when self respect is missing, when exhaustion is chronic, the system will contract. Okay. And then you start, instead of flow, there is force in life. Instead of intuition flowing, control comes in. Desperation will replace clarity, right? And that is when people start saying nothing is working. But it's not a punishment, it's your physiology, right? You can shift it if you'd like. And that's the irony, that you need to make the body feel safe for it to actually move. And for you to feel that safety, that's when these resources come in: meditation, EFT, healing, right? Centeredness. Why are those important? Because you need to feel safe. Your body is constantly in this haywire state, survival state. When you're in the survival state, you cannot do anything that will help you expand because your body is contracting right now. Imagine the tiger is right in front of you and you're constantly feeling like the tiger is not moving, it's right there. So you're constantly in that fear mode, fight or flight mode, however your body reacts to trauma. Yeah. So, and you know what is happening, that in the process, right, somewhere you start to call all the acts that you have, right? Maybe the way you behave in life, maybe your relationships, maybe your finances, right? You start to say that I do it this way because I am very giving, right? But people who take a stand, people who have boundaries, they are selfish. I am not. And that's the reason I'm making this video, because you need to understand there is a trauma response in the body, right? Where you are conflating these energies. You are confused between what you're doing for others versus what you're doing for yourself. If you cannot do anything for yourself first, then remember, folks, you cannot do anything for anyone. And if you think, and if you're justifying this by saying that I do this for my relatives, my family, this, that, and in the process, if I have to ignore myself, it's okay, then you're lying to yourself. We all biologically have such bodies that if you do not bring safety to your nervous system, you cannot even fathom bringing safety to anyone else in your life. It could be your child, it could be your mother, it could be your lover, anybody. So, if, for example, if your health is deteriorating, right? Maybe the way you look, you do not like it, right? And you continue to eat unhealthy, right? And you continue to you know have excuses, for example, right? Like, I'll go to the gym later, or it's too cold and I cannot go, or I'm too busy, I'm working, right? So your body is listening to you, right? And what is happening is the body now concludes that you are not your priority. Okay. And so what happens is that when you stop showing up for yourself, for your body will stop showing up for you, isn't it? Right? So illness or disease is not actually a betrayal. It's just a communication that you're having with your body, right? So energetically speaking, if you do not prioritize yourself, meaning, you do not prioritize living in a space where you're respected, right? So standing up, making, you know, being in such situations where you can stand up for yourself, being in such situations where you are respecting your body, respecting your health, uh, living in not toxic environments, right? Living in serenity, right? Prioritizing your peace over drama, right? So if you do not do all of those things and you say, oh, I'll do it one someday, right now I'm very busy, right now I have too much work, I cannot get up, I have too much stress, I have to take care of my parents, I have to take care of this, I don't have money, till you keep giving these excuses for you yourself to bring that boundaries, bring that uh, rhythm in your life, life hears that you don't care about you. So then life also gives you situations that create more drama in your life, right? Because you are not prioritizing yourself. So remember, no one else will prioritize you, right? It's funny how, or it's ironic how we do not prioritize ourselves. And when I say prioritize ourselves, again, this is not selfish, it's self love. If your cup is empty, you cannot fill anyone else's cup. If you consider yourself helping anyone, by the way, we do not help others, because when we are helping others, we are creating more helpless folks around us, right? So we are, as much as possible, we should be able to empower others, right? And when there is help that you can, or you have to, or whatever it is that you can do for others, do it in a way that you can forget about it. Because if you're thinking about it and if you want something in return, then anyways the energy is convoluted. And if your cup is half empty and you're trying to give somebody whatever you have left, you are anyways creating a survival mechanism in your body. How can you help anyone with that energy, right? You will bring in that desperation in your energy, and that will probably make things worse for the other. Yeah. So self love is standing with yourself. Self love is saying, even if it's uncomfortable, I will not leave myself. Even if I have to get up every day and do my puja, do my prayers, I will do it. Even if things are not working out, I have to get up and I have to do my puja, I will do it. Even if I'm sick, I'll do whatever I can, right? You are not dependent on instant gratification. when you are in that safe zone, you are focused on your action. And that's where that safety comes in. Now, when the body sees you every day doing your thing, irrespective of results, the body starts to trust you. The body starts to feel safe with you. By the way, your body cannot feel safe with you as well. And that's why it's in the survival state. But when you consistently show up for your body, right? When you consistently exercise, when you consistently live in drama free zone, when you consistently speak very kindly to yourself, and when you consistently walk away from places where you're disrespected, your body starts to feel safe. And only from that safety can you offer anything of value to anybody in this life, right? Be it money, be it love, be it respect. And actually, you can only manifest from safety. If you don't have that safety, you're just pretending to do things. It'll it'll collapse, and it's probably happening that way. I see so many people helping other folks, but they're constantly in chaos. They're constantly struggling. So neither are they helping themselves nor are they helping others. Instead, they're all creating drama together, right? So you self love and choosing your own self over everything in this life is what will actually bring you everything you want in life. When you show up consistently, right? Like Krishna says in the Gita that focus on your action, not on your results, right? And and it's hard for us to implement it, but self love, that statement in itself is what self love is all about. It's about you doing the right things even when you feel tired, even when you feel like it's very difficult for you, even on those days when you feel, you know, nothing is making sense. You have that higher connection with the higher self, with God, whoever you believe in, and you know that they are guiding you. And the noise around you starts to dissipate. Clarity comes in because you are focused. You trust in yourself. You love yourself. You stand up for yourself. Your life will improve, your health will improve, your relationships will improve. You will no longer need to, you will not require yourself to, you won't need to help others, you won't need to rescue others. Your presence will heal others, right? So, if you're not there for yourself, do not expect life to stand up for you, right? Life mirrors identity, right? Life doesn't give you what you want, life gives you who you are or who you're being. So when you stop abandoning yourself, life will stop abandoning you. You see? So I hope you understand the difference, and like I said, the way we use selfish is more about how we are loving ourselves. A person who loves themselves, a person who feels safety within their body, a person who is centered will empower others, will help others in a way that folks would love to be around them. Folks would prosper around them. Folks would give them blessings because your energy has shifted. If you are struggling with your life, with your emotions, with your relationships, with your health, you are of no use to others. Instead, you're pulling their energy down. So remember that before you choose anything in life, choose yourself. Choose all areas of your life that you want to work with, and first make yourself feel that safety in the nervous system. And like my mentor said, when you are in that stage where you are centered, then your presence itself can heal the world. So if you want to work on anything, work on yourself, and everything around you will change. So I hope this whatever you want to call it, class helped you all. This conversation helped you all understand deeper where the difference between self love and self being selfish, and how prioritizing yourself is the most important thing you need to do right now. Oops, sorry. So I will be back with another, interesting topic. If you have any questions, do leave it in the comments and do share this video with folks. And I will be back with another one. Till then, signing off, Anisha Dutt from Zaria Healings.